All right, shall we try this again? What do you think? Has this all calmed down? I've had a look at the server that has been kind of used by Restream, because remember, my stream goes to Restream, Restream goes to Mixer and YouTube and all the other troll networks, and so then he's back indeed. So I've just selected a different server. I don't know which one is selected, but we've got heavy rainfall here. Maybe I tried Washington now. See if there's one. There was one in Miami. I thought that would be kind of the closest one, but perhaps that wasn't the case. So yes, like you said, perhaps I'm going to turn this into a full video and just upload that to YouTube. Maybe I'll do that. So there we go. Now, where were we? I'm glad you're still here. This is cool. And let me know when the quality kind of tanks again. To Amsterdam? Yes, maybe I should do that. Transcontinental package shifting. I like it. So I've just saved our scene just so that that nothing bad is happening here. And I've also got a local recording. Yes, I have. So that's good. That's good. What were we doing last time we checked? Was it the expression thing? Yeah, there we go. Cool. So now she's got this evil kind of smile going here. I don't know why her eyes are more like closing with this thing. I'm not entirely sure about that. Maybe it's just the two things overlaid. Maybe being flirty and happy at the same time. Yes, I see that kind of closes the eyes just a little bit here. Yeah, maybe that's cool. Let's leave the eyes as they are now then. That's cool. And let's see if we're happy with all the steps of the animation. If I go and close my second viewport down here, go back into single view, and that's the camera. And we'll just check now at just 4 or 5 spots in the animation that we're actually happy with this in iRay. So let's try the beginning here. Do you know, maybe she destroyed the live stream? Could that be it? I don't know. Maybe she's going, what are you doing to me? You're in full control. I don't like that. I'm like alien queen. And then I'm going to add Christina's Christina's link here as well. That's another idea. Let me just quickly do that. How am I going to do that? Let me do that on here. Did you put it on Discord as well? No, you put it in. She's put it on Discord. Okay, cool. I thought Zin put it on Discord. I think Zin put his blink animation on Discord.
Well, she said it was blink animation.
She did. I think that was in. Excuse me. We'll be with you in a second. I think it was just the link. Christina, I'm so sorry. Could you? Okay, great. Then I'm going to have a look in Discord. Thank you, Christina. That's perfect. So I'm just going to go and drag that out into this. And then I'm going to do this. And I'm going to go, it's kind of, you know, cloud file link thing. I'm going to go and put that into my Creative Cloud thing here. Gradient 1, that's awesome. And that I should be able to pick up right from here. So let's see what happens when we apply that on the plane. And that would be on the Surfaces tab. Under Plane, under Default, there's Geometry. And all I need here is the cutout opacity. I don't know which way around the UVs are with this with the plane, so we may have to just rotate the plane. Oh, this is from Biscuit's Patreon package, by the way. These are grass patterns, very cool stuff. Thank you, Biscuits, by the way, very cool. Gradient, there it is. Let's add that and see what happens. Curiouser and curiouser. So I think has the background worked, the back, or is it on the left or right? I can't even really see that now. Let's have a look in the texture shaded view just from the top here. Shouldn't we be able to see that here? Yes, yes. Okay, cool. It's such a large plane that I think that's what the issue was. So it's actually correctly put here. This is where we see the solid ground, and this is where we see the transparency. So I can either now move the whole plane backwards. Whoops, I'm so sorry. Move the whole plane backwards. I was on the wrong button here. This is how I can see that now. This is the solid ground here. That's perfect. That's the way she's facing, and this is where the transparency is. So we're lucky there. I think instead of moving the plane, I'm just going to compress the plane and make it slightly shorter. I think I'll do that. So with the plane selected, and just my thingy tool here, I'm just going to go and make that perhaps. I'm going to use my parameters for that. The Z scale. And just do that, and then perhaps also move the plane. Move the plane further back. I hope she's not going to walk off the plane, but actually by that time she's not going to be in vision anymore, so should be okay. Don't walk to the edge of the plane, Rebecca. So let's see what that looks like in the, well, actually if we go on, see what it looks like through the camera. Ah, I'm falling, man, I'm falling. I'm still not getting the sense that she's actually walking on something there. Maybe the plane does need to move even further. So I suppose here by frame, what is it, frame 30, we're not going to actually see her feet anymore. But before that, I do really want that plane to be visible there. Let's make it happen. Was that the Z translate? Yeah, it is, isn't it? So Z translate to about here. Clever, and then we don't actually see that anymore, so that's cool. That should work. David, that's hilarious. Yeah, cool. If we just ignore the bottom of the picture, then we can blend her better now with like that fictitious background in Photoshop. Yeah, let's do that. I think that's going to be cool. So the first frame is okay. We're getting into that light changing realm here now at about frame 50. And we're just about to reveal her face at about frame 60, I guess. Can just about see the eyes, make the eyes out about frame 60, 70. This is where that eye blink is kicking in now. If we wanted to reveal that a little bit beforehand, we can just tweak the light a little bit. I think it's going to be all right. I think it's going to be nice that way. So we can do one of two things now. In order to actually see the animation, we can now have my computer actually render it out at maybe a lower resolution, at something along the lines of maybe 100 iterations. It's not going to look great in regards to quality, but it would give us an accurate idea of how that's going to look like. Would you like to do that, or shall we do the Photoshop part of this with the animation that I've just done? Because that's just, quickly going through how to do this in Photoshop. Render super fast. I mean, we can, let's try. Let's see what happens if we just save this scene and we go and have a look. This is how I would set it up. So for an animation under progressive rendering, this is what I would do. I'd switch off rendering quality, and I'd override the max samples. So let's try. We can try something like 100 samples and see what that looks like. Also, in regards to size, I think I'd probably try maybe 1280 by 720 or something even lower than that. Let's see what it looks like if we do that. I'm not going to switch off render quality because I wanted to see you why that is important. So let's go ahead and render this and see what happens. With quality enabled, we're not even going to get to 100 samples, because before then, I guess the image will be, oh no, we don't. Okay, bad demonstration effect. Sometimes you don't even get to the end of your max samples, because the iRay engine will report, hey, 95% is already converged on the scene. And in a scene like this, especially in the early frames of that, that's very likely that happens. So if I go to frame 10 or something, and if I try to render this again, we may have converged the 95% of the image because there's not much to converge. But the face, like now, the render is basically done, but the face would still be fairly grainy. So in that respect, if we wanted to, denoise a good idea. If we wanted to guarantee at least 100 samples per frame, we just have to switch that off. So we may do that. And like you said, Alien, let's switch on that denoiser after about 8 iterations. Let's see what it looks like at about, let's see, about frame 75, and then render that again. It may actually be possible to just render that while you watch. That'd be kind of cool. And then we can chat about, God and the world, have a cup of tea. That's 100 iterations with the denoiser. Did you even see how many seconds that was? That was crazy. Let's find out. I'm intrigued. View your log file. At the very end of this, I said end of this. 5 seconds. We can do that. My mouse, it's this one here. It's a Logitech M325. It is very cool. It does this. It's a musical instrument as well. Let's go for it. Let's render all these frames out. I don't mind. Let's do this. We've got the time. It's cool. Let's go and make a new folder. Perhaps I'm going to go and create that new folder. So up here, we're going to render a still images, not a movie. It's going to be an image series of PNGs. That's also important. And here we're going to go and define a folder. So mine was Andromeda. So I'm going to go and create a new folder here. I'll call it Andromeda stream. In that folder, we're just going to have to give it now a file name for the series base. So I'll call that Andromeda stream as well. Did I spell that correctly? Yeah, perfect. And now I just have to click render, I think. Let's save this one more time just in case. Also, just making sure that my RTX 2080 is actually correctly underclocked, because otherwise, you know, the universe blows up and it's just not doing anyone a favor. See, this is not what I have set up. This is crazy. This tool that needs to be replaced with something else. Firestorm, not a big fan. It just doesn't save the value. There we go. And now let's try it out. That is exactly right, Patrick. That is exactly my experience as well. That is precisely why I don't like create rendering to AVI files. There's also all kinds of incompatibility issues, like Photoshop, case in point, awesome stuff. Photoshop can render out an animation as an MOV file on Windows, can't play it back natively. That's awesome. Afterburner is what I'm going to try next. Thank you. I've heard good things about Afterburner, but I've not had the chance. So yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. Because I haven't had the chance, Patrick. I haven't had the chance. Ooh, ex-Batman Slayer X. Thank you for the follow. So while this is rendering, we can always have a quick look how we need to proceed in Photoshop. It is a great QA time. Yes, actually. In fact, let's do that. Let's do QA instead of doing Photoshop. Let's do Photoshop in a minute, and I'm going to go and keep. I don't really know. That's that's just my observation. I don't really know why it happens. I can only tell you that yeah, that's the case. I suppose it has got to be a codec thing, because if I do it on my Mac, it plays it back fine. But on Windows, I've not had any luck. Even with VLC. VLC does it, but it's a very jerky motion there. Maybe it's like an off codec or something. But yes, it's Q&A time, my friends. Let's see how long this renders, and we'll see if we can see our animation in full glory. I don't know what MPCBE is, Patrick, I'm afraid. Yeah, I don't think I've heard of that. That's a good question. I'd love to give you an answer, but because the computer's rendering now, I can't. I believe so. I would imagine so, only because they were based on... here she is. They came out when Genesis 8 was already out. So since it came out when Genesis 8 was there, I would imagine it's iRay render ready. There's often little notes in here. Yeah, so we have iRay materials and 3D Light materials. That's nice. I would imagine then iRay was applied by default, but I haven't checked that. It's a good point to check that. It may not have been, because in the promo images we have all kinds of gloss here. That could be because of a very long render, or it could be because I just haven't loaded the iRay materials. That's a very good point. Is Media Player Classic, is that the one that used to be in Windows 7? Is that the one, MPC? But we'll check that. As soon as the computer's finished rendering, we're totally going to check that. Well, that's a nice little tip, because I've been a fan of VLC for a while, and VLC is kind of the go-to Swiss Army knife for anything video transcoding and encoding, but sometimes it just doesn't it doesn't really work well like in this case. So I'll check that out. Oh, great. Rod, that's exciting. Shall we watch it together? Let's watch it together, shall we? Let's do that. I think I can go and open my Restream chat here and then hopefully open the link from there. Let's see. Oh, but it's not supplier because I've got Restream open on the other computer. Looks like the only way for me to do that is to open my own Mixer page and grab the link from there. That may break the universe as well into like this, into this never-ending loop now here. There we go. All right, let's watch Rod's animation together. Oh yes, I've seen that. That's been there for a few years, hasn't it? Was this a Scar motion block, Rod? Oh, YouTube, that wasn't nice, was it? Alien P, thank you so much. This is awesome. Woohoo! I love it. Thank you. That is so cool. Thank you, Christina. Thank you for letting me know. A fully technological world here. This is great. Very nice. And that was in what's it called? Firefly, correct, Rod? Look at that, frame 46, and we've been going 5 minutes. That's cool. We're gonna see the result of that in no time. Perhaps I'm gonna go and install this Media Player Classic actually while we're here. You know, let's do that. Media Player Classic. By the way, just a quick update on what we did there last night. I did a spontaneous live stream last night, and is this it, Patrick? Let me know. If it is in fact, it looks like it is. Perfect. We're going to totally try that out. I've tried swapping a hard drive from an old laptop into a new laptop, and well, new laptop, they're both old laptops, but I took an old hard drive out from an older laptop and put it into my MacBook Pro, which is running High Sierra right now, but I can't update it any further than that. So I put that hard drive in, and yeah, last night Dreamlab and Christina and Zinkau, we were all installing, we were hanging out on Mixer, and we were installing Windows on a MacBook. That was exciting. And this morning I was did you know, Rod? Of course. That's right. Yes, you probably saw that. That's exactly right. And this morning I tried it out. All I had to do to finish that off was literally plug a network cable in and run the Brigadier thing. And that then downloaded all the bootcamp drivers, installed them, and now I can actually more or less use it. It's not elegant, but I can use it. So yeah, that's cool. Oh, MPC HC. I think I'm going to go and install that when we're done rendering here. I don't want to interfere with, you know, whatever DAS Studio is doing and all that. Yes, I think ScarMotion has this. They have in his AniBlocks, he has these two versions, one with bounce, I think he calls it, and one without bounce. So there's bounce in both the breasts and the glutes. There's a lot of bouncing going on there. It's a little bit overdone. Some video games do that. There was this Xbox game which was called Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball for the Xbox 360, and that's just completely overdone. Or yeah, I think the whole Dead or Alive series has breast bounce in there, and it's some iterations they just got a little bit carried away. Yeah. And it was an interesting game because everyone really appreciated those characters from the game, and so they took the female characters and put them into a volleyball game. There's this PlayStation 4 version out that's only available in Japan because the developer apparently thought it would be not suitable for the Western market, would just not understand. Basically, that was their explanation. I do have it. It is about, have I got it still, or is it? It was about 400 megabytes. I think uploading it may prove a little difficult. But when we render this out, it'll be the same MOV codec, and we'll see if MPC will play this back correctly. NPCHC, very good name, that, I must say. If you have any other questions, please fire away. This is a good time to ask. That's really good to know. I've not even heard of that tool. That's you know, I must read all about it. I've not ever heard of that. I thought VLC was the only kind of the lightweight go-to player, but you know, maybe I'm wrong. I immediately love the absence of advertising on the website, so that instantly speaks to me. And it's open source, right? I would imagine. Very cool. Well done, Rod. Awesome stuff. Oh, I see. This does something to my lighting quality. Look, this works like a softbox now. I have to have this up rather than that, because that changes the color of my face instantly. How exciting! So, what can you do now that you've ranked up, Rod? Let's see you do something with skills or whatnot. I'm gonna try my skills here as well. Woohoo! Look at that, 21 followers, guys. This is awesome. Don't forget to do you know what? Let's have a giveaway. This is the perfect opportunity to try that restream bot and do a giveaway. Let's do this thing. I'm not sure what you're going to get. Maybe a free copy of the MPCHC. That's a good idea, isn't it? So let's go and say giveaway. Here we go. All right. In 3, 2, 1, and restream bot again. I can't believe it. We have to do several giveaways because we're not entirely sure how this works now. It could be that this means that somebody from YouTube has won it. Maybe that's what the bot wants to say, or one bot's giving it to another bot. I mean, you know, yeah, this is right, 4 times in a row. Well, we're going to try this again. This is terrible. Giveaway starting now. Come on. And yes! Patrick, thank you so much. You've won a free copy of MPCHC. Download it now from mpchc.org. Oh, hang on a minute. You gave me that tip, didn't you? Crazy. Oh, well. It's totally free. You can totally download it now. In fact, I'm generous. You can all download one copy. You've all won. Woo! This bot that I'm currently looking into, that will allow us to have a counter that we can give each other points or whatnot, and there's you know 100 J points, yes. And tell you what, exactly, pizza was, what did I do earlier? Box of donuts here, guys. Let's have some donuts. There we go. That's nice. Yes, I've got yeah, I keep ranking up. We're all ranked over here. Oh, it says we're coming to a very exciting part in the render. It's now on frame 98, everyone, and I believe we're going to frame 108. So we're almost there. I can barely wait. Well, 1,000 J points buys you a free copy of MPCHC, Christina. How many J points have you got right now? Have you been counting? Because I've lost count. The denoiser is my favorite toy. Absolutely, Patrick. There's something, I think I've mentioned this before, there's something I've noticed in, so here live, coming up here to frame 108, it's going to be exciting. There's something I've noticed I've got with the absence of the other RTX 2080 graphics card in this machine. I've put a very old K4000 graphics card in here as the second graphics card. And it looks like, I thought I'm going to offload streaming to that. It's actually not efficient. I didn't know this, but the guys from OBS told me this. They said it's totally not efficient because it takes longer to copy one frame to the other card to transcode than to just leave it on the RTX 2080. Also, another bit of knowledge for streaming thing here. The RTX cards, all of them, 2060 all the way up to 2080 Ti, they can encode, and it doesn't take any power away from the rendering capacities or capabilities. So on my GTX 970, I definitely knew that when I was streaming, it wasn't as powerful as when I was not streaming. And now it doesn't make a difference anymore at all. So that's very, very exciting news. So RTX, the streaming card. Yes, I thought that was interesting, yeah. And the guys from OBS say it's not efficient to use a second graphics card as an encoder for the stream and then use another graphics card for the actual thing that you're doing. Okay, so with all our images rendered, this was just a test render. Now we can totally close that down. Let's go and open the Photoshop. The Photoshop. I like putting the in front of things. It makes them more special, I find. And let's see what we can do there. So first of all, to import an image sequence into Photoshop, we can, is that studio not rendering? Oh, good stuff. So in order to do that, we can head over to File, Open, and when we go to that folder in which we have that image sequence, select the first item in the stream and then select image sequence over here. On the Mac, it works exactly the same way, but this isn't exposed, so you have to click a button, I think options it says, and when you do that, then Photoshop will go and ask you for the frame rate. In our case, 30 frames a second, just fine, and then it'll do its thing. And now it has imported this whole thing as an image sequence into a video group. So we can close that, and we can put anything above or below it, just like we've known this from other things, from other layers in Photoshop. So that's our animation. That's not bad. Make that slightly smaller here so I can navigate better. Photoshop isn't the best at playing this back. It kind of buffers so many frames. So I can see a little bit of a camera jerk going on about here. But it's okay. I mean, she comes from the dark and she goes into the light. So I think then I'll just go and use a regular gradient. I can use black to purple on this. Maybe I'll just go and do that with just a regular new layer, which needs to be underneath that video group. And also that layer needs to be... What did you say? Yes, I would do that in Adobe Premiere as well, but I currently don't have the Creative Cloud subscription, and that kind of puts a damper on that. But I'm thinking about getting it. So let me just leave that there. I've got a 2-month free Photoshop trial, I believe, and once that's over, I'll go and sign up to the Creative Cloud. So with that, I'm going to go and create. I'm going to use my gradient tool here. I'm just going to go see what happens on this layer. Interesting. That's, yeah, something like that. Perhaps more dark towards here. It's always a bit trial and error, this, for me anyway. Yeah, I don't really want that sharpness here, and I'd like a bit of darkness to start here. Oh, maybe that's the way to go. There we go. That's nice. That is nice. We can also add a little bit of extra to this frame. Just at the end, we could just take the last frame and just keep that going here for a little bit. Interestingly, and I really don't know why that happens, thank you so much, Rod. If I go and just place that as an embedded image in now, I'll go and use the last image here, 108, then for some bizarre reason, Photoshop doesn't bring it in scaled up correctly. If I were to go and try and scale that up like this, that's just not gonna work, is it? I don't know why Photoshop does that. Maybe I'm gonna have to go and maybe I'll have to do this slightly differently. So I think what I'll just do is I'll open this, and bizarrely this works. I can't for the life of me figure out why. Maybe you've got a tip for me there, Christina. If I open this image on a new tab, and then I'll just go and duplicate that layer here and put that into the untitled version here, our untitled file. And then I'll just put that here. Then it is the correct size and position. I don't really know why that is, but I would imagine that place embedded should just import the same size that I've just imported with my animation. So there we go. Oh, okay. Yeah, because the thing is, this is the other interesting thing. I could get the Creative Cloud for $30 a month instead of whatever the other price is, 50, I think. And that's something that I thought, I guess that's because I used to buy. Yeah, see, I got it for 30 because I've been giving Premiere thousands of dollars for years, I think, and then I took a break when they went subscription. I boycotted them. So. Okay, no problem. I just worked out the workaround that if you get to this issue that when you go and say place embedded and the same image that you've just added there is now coming up smaller, it's it doesn't make that much sense. But when you open it and then just copy the layer over, it works. It's magic. So one last thing I want to do to this animation before we're going to render it out and try MPC HC, Patrick's raffle win, I guess. Patrick's nice tip, I should say, is I'm going to use my fog overlay here, and I'll go and I think I'll use that place embedded from that. If I remember where that was, I think it's under videos. Was it assets? Yeah, there we go. Fog. I'm just going to use part 1 of this. And that is this now. So that's actually, it's put it into the right position already. I'll just go click return so that it locks it in. This is the video track I can now move. So our character is at the top here. That's perfect. And behind it is now the fog layer. And then behind that is the gradient. So when I move that, it has the effect that there's fog behind her, but not in front of her. And even when we have, oh yeah, actually now I need to move these layers around because this is an effect that we don't want. So this is what fog in front of her would look like. I guess we don't want that. Let me just go and put that layer over here. And then now that should just be a continuous thing. And there's no fog in front of her, just behind her. That's kind of cool. And we can go and just make that a little bit shorter here. We can add that as well. Like I was toying around with the idea to put fog overlay on top of her as well, and then kind of mix that with the background fog. There'll be like a lot of fog, and then we can turn the opacity down from that fog in front of her. What do you think? Fog in front of her as well? Julia says yes. Patrick is thinking, Patrick was into fog. Let's do that. Let's do it. So I'm going to go and select the video group here with the intention. Actually, I can just duplicate it here. So like that. Now I'm going to drag that over that. And that, I'm just going to go and drop the opacity down just a tiny amount. That's right, exactly. In front and with lowered opacity, just with 10% here. Let's see what that looks like. Atmospheric. That's what it looks like. Oh, this layer isn't quite long enough, so there we go. Are we all happy here? What does it look like with more opacity? It just turns into grey mush at one point. So okay, let's go with 15%, 18%. I'm glad, Rod. This is what it's all about, getting inspired by this. So let me go and save this as well here. I believe that's on the desktop, Andromeda prep. I'm just going to go and put that thing in here. and I'll call it Andromeda Stream. Yeah, that's good. So you get those scene files as well. I'm going to give you all of that, so you can examine. This is the point of that you can go in and examine and see, how did he do the layers again? What was that thing about? How we talked about opacity, and I can't quite remember. You know, that's what the point of these scene files is. You can get this video out of there either with this little thingamajig here, and then go ahead and hit render video. That's one possibility. Or you can go up to the regular file menu and say export, and there it is at the bottom here, render video. Oh, there we go. Render video. They both do the same thing. It doesn't matter. It gets you to technically the Adobe Media Encoder menu, which is kind of cool. So I'll leave it as Andromeda Stream. That's exciting. You can set a folder here. And in Adobe Media Encoder, you can also spit out an image sequence again. I guess in this case, we do want a video file, so choose the Media Encoder. And you can pick a quality preset here, uncompressed, medium, or high. Let's try high, just for the sake of it. See if that player can play that back properly. You can assign an alpha channel here if you wanted to do something else with that, like an overlay in a video editor or something. And you can go and say render. Haha. And then we'll try MPCHC to play this back. Yes, absolutely. And remember, this fog overlay here, that is, you get that from my Patreon. All Patreon supporters, no matter what tier, get that asset for free. I've got another one that I've just found, actually. It's ready to go. I may just post that over the weekend. It's the noise animation, the one that's like the VHS type noise and the audio static. So I'll post that on there as well, and you can have access to that as well. It works in the same way. You can overlay it, and then you can just modify the blending mode, and it's you know, fun for the whole family, I tell you that. Where did I save that again? Andromeda, was it Andromeda Prep? Oh no, here, this is it. Andromeda. Oh, I need to install the thing first, don't I? I've downloaded it, but I haven't installed it yet. So MPCHC 1.7. Yes. Verified publisher, Fotis Zafiropoulos. English sounds good. Let's do that. I accept it all. $45 million mouse clicks later. Launch, probably not, because we can just go and double click this now. And are you going to open it? Oh, no, this is what you get missing codec. This is what Windows 10 Media Player does. So let's go and open this now. Sure. And drag that into here. Is that how it works? Opening, yes. Yeah, see, this works much better than VLC. This works so much better than VLC. Let's make my brother full screen here, y'all. There, perfect. Is there like a loop function? Probably is, isn't there? Repeat or loop after playback. Video track, audio track, full screen zoom, repeat forever. Perfect. Ah, there we go. And then, you know, you could zoom into that last frame, or you could do all kinds of things to that last frame. You can render a longer animation. But I think, you know, for a day's work, not so bad at all. Thank you so much, Rod. Thank you, David. Very exciting. We can also compare it to the one that I rendered out earlier. So that was done, this wasn't even 1080. This is only 1280 by 720. Let's do that. Let me see if I can, is that still in the trash can? I think I've just, yeah, there we go. This is the large animation that I did earlier. Let's go pop that in. Full screen, yes, sir. I think what works really, really well about our new animation that we've done together was Christina's plane overlay, that we don't get that black strap in the background there. I think that works really well. But in regards to the effect, revealing her that way, I think, you know, very, very cool. There's a hole in the spacesuit? Oh yeah, that's not going to help with breathing, is it? There's oxygen kind of creeping into there. I don't think I've done a fog overlay into the front here. What's that? Yeah, I'm just going to do it now. Julia's telling me, play the other one, play the other one. I'm doing it. Oh, there we go. Well, let's render it again in 4K and play that one back. Again, let's do that. Let's do another one. Well, there we go. Even though there were some technical issues here, some technical hitches and all, I think we've done a marvelous job here. So you get the fog asset, you get this scene file, you get the whole scene. Midnight stream. Yes, let's do that, Dreamlab. Awesome. Let's just leave the camera running 24/7. And I'll also upload what we've done here. Maybe I'll go render this out again in maybe not 4K. Maybe I will 4K. Why let's be that 4K? That's a good idea. While we're watching something on TV later, I'm going to go render this out. Maybe I'll find something like an audio underlay, and I'm going to go and upload that to YouTube. Guys, oh, Patrick, sorry. Please do. Photoshop tips are always welcome. Preferences, tech preview. Preferences, there we go. Technology previews, no way. What's going down there? Use modifier keys palette, enable preserve details 2.0 upscale. Ay, caramba. Down, under learn more. What does that do? Do you know what that does? Oh, actually, it tells me right here. Enlarge your images with the help of artificial intelligence-assisted upscaling technologies. Whoa! To enable, enable preserve details 2.0 upscale above preferences technology. Choose an image size, and select preserve details from resample options. Patrick. Ooh. While we're here, new feature. So do you think it's going to work if I just go and render this out again in a different resolution? Would that do it, you think? Or do you think I have to go and like 1080, 1920 by 1080, do you think? Yes. That was me, yes. Woohoo! Resample all images in an action. Oh, that's clever. Yes, because this is just the media encoder. That's not going to care about that, is it? Well, why don't we just try the whole thing? Image size, and just go pixels. The action, yeah, but I mean, shouldn't it do the same thing if we do this? See how long it takes. Transforming a video layer requires converting it into a smart layer object. Sure. It'll be an interesting. Do you think that makes a difference? Yeah, I could. Yeah. Yes. It's just that I would expect an intelligent software like Photoshop to apply that right now, but maybe you're right. Maybe I'd have to do it to all images. Okay, let me just go back here. Oops. Mac keyboard on a PC. That's not going to frazzle with your brain, is it? So tell me again. Tell me exactly what I need to do here. I go and batch convert all the images. Do you think? That's an idea. Oh, I need to set up the action first, don't I? Let's use this image as like an action generator here. Record an action. How did that work again? That was actions. That's probably a good start here. There we go. And perhaps okay. So let's go. I'm going to make a folder here. I'm going to call it J's Actions. Should maybe call it Action J. That's cool. And now we'll go and create a new action in here. upsample dude, and function key, we're not going to use that, upsample dude, and record button, we're recording already. So now you say basically image size. Is that what I'm using? Ay caramba, we say 1920 by 1080, my man, in 1000 dpi. No, it's set up and set resample. Ah, okay, I'm gonna go and cancel this then. Set up and set resample. Where is that again? On this screen. On this screen. So, oh, resample. Ah, yes, of course. So, preserve details 2.0. That's the thing, isn't it? That's the one? Ay caramba. There you go. Let's do this. Reduce noise. Oh. That's kind of noise that's still there, I guess, from our render. Boom. Can you imagine? It actually gets rid of noise that the denoiser missed. That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? So 100% and click OK, right? Is that cool? I'm just going to do it. Oh my god, this is exciting. Oh, boom. Okay, that's that image resample. That's perfect. So now we're going to go stop, right? Record done, and now we don't really need this image anymore, so I'm going to go close that down. I'm going to go boom, and this one I'll just go and just save it, so we can go and close this down as well. And now we'll go to file. Oh, this is exciting. Batch. Oh my god. JS action upsample dude. That's perfect. Destination. We need to have a folder for the destination. And go and say and do Andromeda stream. Maybe I'm going to go and put that in here. New folder. I'm going to call it upscale because, you know, it's so nice. I've named it twice. And that's where we're going to put that. Script. Oh, it's not batch. It's script. Ay caramba, it's not, doesn't it work with this? I'm not just playing a set and I'm going to go destination and source is another folder. Isn't that how it works? I thought we were just going to go Andromeda stream, select that folder, and we've got our destination folder. Oh, is it? Ah, okay. Cancel out of that. So scripts, image processor, is that it? Let's do this thing. Select images to process. Select folder. Andromeda stream. Perfect. Yeah, okay. There we go. We're learning something new today. There are easier ways to do it. I've never done anything with this thing. So then save as JPEG. Same location now. Different folder, right? Because let's do this all non-destructively. And oh, I see. So then we go and run an action in JS action upsample dude. Perfect. Include ICC profile. It doesn't really matter. Do we need to save this? Do we need to do anything with that? Yeah, I've done that. But do we need to do anything here? I think we're just going to untick that because otherwise. Oh, quality up. Okay, cool. So let's do 12. That's high, isn't it? Save as PSD, can you imagine? Okay, let's try this, shall we? All the way. What is all the way? Or PSD. Let's do PSD. Let's do PSD. Let's not even do JPEG. Maximize compatibility. No, we don't want to do that. Let's try it. Now it turns out re-rendering it in 4K would have been faster, but no problem. Yeah, let's do that. I've never imported a PSD image sequence. That's going to be exciting. I like what it does to my face, that the monitor changing color does this to my face. That's kind of cool. It's got the light show going here. Let's see if it even works. I mean, I can already see this is taking just as long as the render, really. Yeah, Disco J, yeah. In total, we have 18 concurrent viewers right now. That's kind of cool. See, this is a round of applause for that. Julia doesn't have her sound effects board there at the moment. We were discussing this the other day. I think Julia needs a microphone of herself. What do you think? It's just, you know, sometimes she says something, and you know, there's, oh, look at that, fantastic. That's the round of applause, is it? And sometimes I'm thinking it would be beneficial if Julia's narration can be heard better by, you know, y'all. What do you think? See, Dreamlab says you need a mic. Julia's not up for that. To the folder, yeah, that's a good idea. It's probably, I mean, just judging by the images here, it takes quite a while. Oh, 68. So yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. It's the 2-part live stream. But you know, it's also very realistic because it just takes forever to do these things, you know. See, Alien thinks so as well. I think we're going to get you a mic, Julia. And I think if you keep hold of the second stream deck, you can then go and mute yourself. But if you do say something, it would be good for everyone to know, to hear this. Especially if you give me tips and stuff. You know, I hear them, my audience doesn't hear them. So we're going to have to, you know. Yes, I can see that, Patrick. I'm still thinking, you know, we're nearly there. This is cool. I love it. That is a great idea. We're going to call the campaign Julia Needs a Microphone. This is how these internet things happen. Overnight, like within a week, you got 20 grand, and all we needed was a $12 microphone. But thanks for chipping in, boys. That's cool. Oh, that is so cool. Aha! Looks like we're there. It was my idea, Rod. Seriously, it was Patrick. It was Patrick's. No, it's actually a joint decision. But I thought, you know, maybe this, we don't even know what happens if I go open now. It's going to be so cool. So under animations, upscale, there's PSD here. We're going to select the first one and select image sequence. Look at that. That's actually very cool. So it does work with PSD images. Boom. All right. Are we getting nasty phone calls? We're getting viewer complaints. There, look at that. Okay. Now, what did I do next? Oh yes, the gradient had the background, wasn't it? So let's do that. We can probably even actually, can't we just copy that from the previous image? Let's go and Andromeda stream. Let's go and open that as well. And then I'll just go and save this as that was on my desktop, wasn't it? Under Andromeda. I'm going to call this Andromeda upscale. And now we can just go and copy some of these assets over. So from here, this is going to be like the background. There we go. Let's go and duplicate that into upscale. And in here, we're just going to go and put that underneath the video group. And that just probably doesn't really matter because it's just a thingy object here. Then my fog, I think, I don't know if the fog is being brought in that resolution, or if we needed that, if we need to bring that in. Yeah, so that's kind of, I'm precious about the fog. Let's go bring the fog in again manually. That was in videos, I think, somewhere. There we go. Under assets, fog part 1. There we go, perfect. So that's there. And now we're going to go and duplicate that over here, and that opacity we said we're going to drag down to something like that. Oh yeah, and then we need to put that in their right places, I guess. What did you say? That goes to here, and then of course we need to bring that last image in one more time. And I'll do the same trick as I did before. I'm just going to go and open that by itself for now. Upscale. Go to the end here and go and duplicate that also into that upscale animation. And now we just need to make sure that goes here somewhat like so. Make that a bit smaller, and now we have the same animation, hopefully up rest. Shall we go render this out and then compare? Yeah, good point, Patrick, absolutely. Export render to video, high quality, Andromeda upscale, perfect. Boom. Time for another giveaway. Yeah, let's do giveaway. Come on. Woo-hoo. Who's gonna win now? My money's on the Restream bot. Okay, here we go. And Restream bot, hey, I win. I bet on the Restream bot. That's crazy. That is not going to survive the journey over to France, Dave. They are super delicious, though, I must say. So just as a comparison then, this was our current 720p render. Let's have a look at that. This looks actually really cool on my Mac monitor, even coming back. Very nice. Okay, we're going to watch it one more time, and then we're going to watch the new thing. All right. So Andromeda upscale. Not bad. I mean, what I can see on the face still, and that's just totally the fault of the fact that we only had 100 iterations. There's still a little bit of noise here on her head, but that was in the original, so the upscaler can't get rid of that. But other than that, it looks like we have basically done the render in 1080. That's actually very impressive. Well, there we go, guys. I think I can safely say that was it. I hope it was all helpful. And if you liked the stream, of course, then share it with friends, family, and total strangers. Very important. Thank you so much for hanging with me. This was a blast. Remember, you get all these scene files and the animations and the full Photoshop files for y'all to play with. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend. Don't forget to join me tomorrow, Subnautica Saturday. It's going to be very, very exciting. We're going to go on play with Jay's Crab Shack about 500 meters below the sea. It's going to be very, very cool. And let's see how many other scary things we're going to discover. That's 4 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time. Join me then. I'm also going to do something on Monday, Mixer Monday. We'll see what happens. And thank you so much for being here, Biscuits, as well. Very cool. I hope this was helpful to everyone. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.